everyone. Hello there. This is the first time I'm doing a video on YouTube in about 12 years. If I don't have that many people subscribing to me. The last video I did was a little after the results of the finding of Jeffrey Epstein dying. Okay, so I want to start out before I get into this review of the new Steven Chbosky movie, Dear Evan Hansen. I wanted to start out with something a little more personal. Last year, 2020, was not really the best. Now, I know it wasn't the best for pretty much anyone. For me, I got to tell you, there was some things that happened which I wasn't too pleased with. And it was really defined by deaths. Two really notable, important passings. I think, like many of us, we probably in the last 18, 19, 20 months or so lost a family member to something. It wouldn't have to be the virus, but, you know, we lost them to something or another. And back in February of 2020, actually day after my birthday, my middle brother and his wife had lost their child to a miscarriage. The heart just gave out before he was even supposed to be born, and that obviously was pretty bad, you know. And then to couple that, days later, with the world effectively shutting down for a time, not really, but, and then the lockdowns, the loss of my job, some of the other different matters, and not just coronavirus related, but also George Floyd died, Breonna Taylor died, Rayshard Brooks, the shitstorm that was 2020. It was bad. Another person that also passed, and I'm gonna preface it by saying I never knew this other person, but before Nathan had died, Nathan was the unborn nephew. A celebrity that I had actually admired had passed away that January of last year, and if you know me, you know I'm quite interested in a lot of different music, and although I can't play anything for shit, you know, and I barely can sing, but I was always a fan of lyrical content and music and ideas that can matter. And if people know me, they know I am a fan of Rush. So you could imagine that I was very devastated to hear when Neil Peart died. I was totally in shock when I found out about it on Twitter. And you know, I when that happened, and then the death of my unborn nephew, it really sent me into a bit of a, I wouldn't say a tailspin. I didn't go off the deep end, but I was pretty depressed. But I got to tell you, things had gotten much better. People know me now. They know that I've lost a lot of weight, go out for a lot of walks, apply myself to doing whatever different matters for jobs and careers. I'm still applying, still doing whatever is possible. I was able to participate in the elections. I voted for Biden and Harris, and I do not regret it. A lot of others regret it. I don't regret it. Far better than where we were last year. Far better. And the icing on the cake in this much better spot for me is I'm now an uncle twice over. My middle brother and his wife, and my younger brother and his wife each have a child. In fact, today, my middle brother and his wife got their child home from the hospital. They gave birth early last week. So it's all good. It's all really good. Now, getting back to what I was talking about regarding my why I totally respected people like Neil Peart was the lyrics spoke to a lot of people. If you know what, the song that actually got me interested in Rush some 20 plus years ago, seeing a music video of it, is a song from their 1989 album Presto. It's The Pass. I can't really sing it for you because I don't have like Geddy Lee's voice, you know. But it's a great song about younger people thinking that the way out is to kill themselves. It's to check out of this life. And it's the idea of saying it's not the way. There's a lot of other stuff you can do. You know, there's lines like, all of us get lost in the darkness. Dreamers tend to look at the stars. Matters to people. I like how you know, it ends, you know, the lyrics like, we turn around and walk the razor's edge. Don't turn your back and slam the door on me. You know, it's a great plea. If you ever get a chance to hear that song, please do. There'll probably be tears in your eyes if you hear it for the first time. I know there was with me. And I was also, the other thing was regarding my interest was because I was always interested in how, particularly Neil Peart, when he lost his first wife and his first daughter in the 90s. Selena was his daughter. She died in 1997 in a car accident. Jackie was his wife. She died of cancer and broken heart in 1998. How he pulled himself back through and, you know, basically got back into it by, you know, going cross country on his motorcycle, riding, traveling, and finding the next love of his life, Carrie Nuttall, and then eventually their child, Olivia. And all that, and I actually read some of Peart's own books, like Ghost Rider and everything like that. It spoke to me, and I think it spoke to quite a number of other people. But the thing about what Rush and their lyrics, what Neil Peart, Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, what they've done is they never went saccharine. They never told you, it's all going to be okay, or whatever, things like that. They would tell you things straight. That you'd have to make it better for your own self. Now, you're probably saying to me, well, Bob, what does that have to do with Dear Evan Hansen? I'm going to tell you. I watched it in the movie theaters yesterday. It was Sunday. I was familiar with the Broadway musical. I've never seen it, but I was familiar when it came out. I think it was 2015, 2016. Ben Platt was Evan Hansen. Music and lyrics by Benj Pasek, Justin Paul. Some good songs, actually. I liked. Actually, do like Waving Through a Window to a little respect, to a certain respect. So Big, So Small is actually all right. You Will Be Found is a little overplayed, but it's decent. Now, when I first heard about this and was seeing when all these Tonys and everything like that, just going by the songs, I thought the movie, I thought the storyline was about a high school student realizing that he's gay. And I guess I took it to the to that extreme, to that idea, because Ben Platt himself is a gay man. And Benj Pasek of Pasek and Paul, you know, the guy that probably does a lot of the composing of the music, he too is a gay man. Justin Paul is married. He has a kid. So I thought it was about, coming out, being accepted. And it really isn't. Now, a little ahead of time, I was able to understand what the plot and synopsis is. If you want me to tell you a little bit about what this movie is about, I mean, I guess you probably already know. In short, um, Ben Platt in this movie, through Evan Hansen, his character is a complete fuck up. There, I said it. Because he is. You know, when you lie one time, grieve, to alleviate grief or what have you, you might get away with it. But when you add so many other lies, that's a problem. Now, I found this movie to effectively be an insult. Now, why is that? Well, excuse me. I have Asperger's syndrome, as a number of you know. I'm on an autistic spectrum disorder. Now, this doesn't affect a lot of things that I do in my life, because from large part, I make it that way, that it's not affecting a lot of what I do. Now then, this movie doesn't really, and really, all you really think about it, the Broadway play, maybe even the young adult novel, it doesn't really, and what Stephen Levinson wrote, it doesn't really bring people that have special needs or have social anxiety or social disorders in the best light. Now, I'm not expecting all roses, but what I am expecting is an intelligent discussion on people with their issues. But it seems as if in this movie, they want to try to, and really the play, they want to try to go over so many different matters. People with anxiety, people that might be on the spectrum, people that, young people that commit suicide, the difference between rich, upper middle income families and working class stiffs. You know, a two-parent family and their issues as opposed to a single mom, and or issues, but not so much. You know, separations, the social media experiments that we have, the idea that, and this is something that I'm noticing a lot, when so many people come up and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, this person touched my life," and yet you never really knew the person. Now, again, going back to what I was talking about with people like me up here, or any other celebrity for the matter, I may not have known the person, but I knew who they were before they passed away. I was familiar with the words and the ideas. But you see, you go through all of these different ideas in a 2.5 hour movie or a musical, you are going to have some problems. And really, the big problem that this movie, I think, has, excuse me, it is that we are supposed to sympathize with a conniving liar, not a deliberate liar, mind you, but one that builds things up and realizes lies that I'm saying about my fake friendship with this other guy is, well, it's putting me to, like, I have a second family. It's letting me date the girl of my dreams. And people don't realize it's all going to come crashing down. Now, I don't fault. Let me put it this way: I do not fault Mark Platt or Ben Platt for what they needed to do in terms of making this movie. I know it was given a lot of attention, and I know that a lot of stuff that goes onto Broadway usually gets a lot of which is might not be that popular. Dear Evan Hansen, I personally don't think it's Ben Pasek and Justin Paul's best score. La La Land, which they collaborated on lyrics with Justin Hurwitz, was better. It's a decent movie, actually. It's maybe a bit overrated, but it's decent. I actually tend to like The Greatest Showman a heck of a lot better because the way the Pasek and Paul write, it's more fitted for the sort of show-stopping near reality fantasy type of thing that you could see in a movie like The Greatest Showman. Or you can see in someone singing like Hugh Jackman or Zendaya or Zac Efron, whomever. Or I forgot the person that's saying This Is Me. Good song, though. That's more tailor-made for it. In this case, it sounds like it wants to do some. It wants to say a lot of things. It wants to talk about a lot of different matters, and yet it just seems so superficial. Now, I'm going to go over what I was not pleased with. And mind you, this isn't me hating on a movie. It's me being very disappointed and upset that it puts forth people like myself and it gives us representation which we do not think is accurate. Or at least I do not think is accurate. Okay, so what type of representation? What type of issue? Well, I really do not like, as I said, how the focus is really on a liar, a conniver, and someone that honestly believes that the best way to approach all matters in the areas is to make a complaint or do something that is not for the best. Listen, I someone that used to grow up watching Sanford and Son and used to understand that maybe the best or worst thing you could do was be like Red Fox, Fred Sanford, and say, this is the big one. I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth. I can't do it as good as he did. But that sort of call for attention may work a couple times. It doesn't work every time. It sure has never worked with me. I know from experience. Now, they give this into the point of view of that character. And really, if you're complaining and saying, well, so it's basically, a character, an enemy of his or whatever dies, and then he gets to boink the girlfriend. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Give me a minute. Okay.